And let's get it. This is the Back Row Bengals show, all brought to you by fansided.com. Fansided.com, blogs by fans for fans. Head on over there, read about the Bengals, read my own stuff, read all about anything. We got a lot of content over there about pretty much any team, especially with the NFL playoffs. We are right in the thick of it. There's plenty of content for you to watch through. My name is Josh Miller. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for listening in. And today we are previewing the Bengals versus Titans divisional round. You hear that, Cincinnati? The divisional round. We are finally into the second round after 31 years of misery of not making it. We finally crack the glass ceiling that we have just been staring at for so long. The Bengals get it done against the Raiders, and now we got to start looking at winning in at Nashville against the number one seed. So the Bengals are going to face the number one seed in Nashville, and they open up as 3.5 point dogs. 3.5 point dogs. So if you think about it, Vegas gives 3 points to the home team anyway. It's pretty much a pick 'em at this point for Cincinnati. So the Vegas is calling this to be a very, very tight ball game. And that's something that you really should be paying attention to is Vegas's number, because they put Vegas's number, or excuse me, they put the Bengals last week as 6.5 point favorites against the Raiders. It was the second biggest spread of the weekend, only behind the Chiefs and the Steelers, which was at 13.5. But the Bengals covered that. Now the Bengals are going into Nashville basically only a half-point dog if you get rid of the 3 points that is given to the home team. And when you look at where the Bengals could have gone and where they could have played in the AFC, and you look around the league, and you get a choice between, you can go play at Kansas City, you can go play at Buffalo, or you can go play at Tennessee. I think everybody and their mother would be like, yes, we are going to go play at Tennessee. We're going to go play a Titans team that hasn't played in a week. Think about that. They're coming off of a bye. It's Derrick Henry's first game back, and I understand he's going to be an absolute house, and he's going to be really hard to bring down. And not having DJ Reader out there is going to be huge for the defensive line. Trying to get off the field is going to be massive. But that being said, Derrick Henry, again, it's his first game back. You don't know. Maybe he doesn't have the greatest game, and he is coming back, and it's hard to do. I mean, these guys are NFL athletes. Think about this. Just going their job, like being out for a couple of weeks, you're kind of slow back into it to kind of get back into the thick of things. And when the Titans now have to get Derrick Henry reacclimated back into the offense has changed a lot since he's been gone. They've had to rely on a lot of other pieces on Tennessee. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Titans react to that. But anyway, let's get into the keys of the game for the Bengals. Let's get into the keys of what it's going to take for the Bengals to win. Number one, the wide receiver room's gotta start out early, and it's gotta start out fast. One thing that the Bengals did against the Raiders that I really, really love that Zach Taylor did, they started out in empty. Let's get Joe cooking now. Let's keep that offense on the field. Let's score. Let's get these big chunks. You can't be going three and out. You can't have stalls against the Titans like we did against the Raiders. Another key that you have to focus on is when the Bengals get in the red zone, they got to convert those into touchdowns. I mean, it almost came back to bite them. The Bengals stalled out two or three times inside of the red zone, and only ended up with a field goal, and that cost them down the way. I mean, the Raiders were driving to tie the game, and honestly, if I'm the Raiders, I'm going for two on there. If they score that touchdown, I'm going for two, and they'll probably get it. And then just like that, we're not celebrating, we're not moving on. But I digress. The Bengals should win, but they have to be able to convert on those that red zone offense. That has got to be better. They have too many weapons. They're too good offensively for that not to be their strength. I think maybe starting to look at pieces that could help us. A tight end would be nice, maybe in this draft or free agency. I love CJ Uzama, but I mean, we need a red zone threat. And if CJ is not going to be there for us, then we need to find someone that is going to be there on the red zone. We got to be able to convert these. You can't have that Larry Ogunjobi fumble, which is huge, where he picked that one up and took it inside, and that's got to be a touchdown. You stall out against Tennessee, they're not going to push you around. Got to keep that offense off the field. And when you are on the field, you got to get some. And then also on top of that, offensively, you got to be able to control the game. You can't let Tennessee get the ball and play keep away because it's what they're going to try to do. Tennessee is very good at playing keep away. Just being able to run that clock, chew it up, especially with Derrick Henry back. So this is going to come down to, can this defense get off the field on third down? Another spot where the Bengals were having problems with. You got to get off on third down. That's going to be a massive key, and we're going to have to focus in on stopping that run, and we're going to have to force Tannehill to beat us. That's going to be the next Brick Top Who Day. Thanks for commenting and watching. We're excited too, man. The next key defensively is going to be anybody else besides Derrick Henry to beat us. That's just going to be it. You got to force this team to beat us. We talked about this entire year of the Bengals superstars beat us or let them compete with us. You go back to even in their wins when they would play the Ravens, both times Mark Andrews had a huge game. You go back to, now I know this is tight ends, but you go back to Travis Kelce having a big game and letting him kind of control. Not, I'm sorry, not Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and letting him kind of control the game. But when they did play the Chiefs and they were able to control Travis Kelce, because he was very pedestrian in that game, he did have one touchdown, but I believe he had under 30 yards. And if you can do that, then you can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But if you hold Derrick Henry to, holding him under 100 would be huge. If you can at least hold him under 110, 115, and then hold him to at least one touchdown, the Bengals should win this game. Uh, but if you got, because here's the thing, you look at the Bengals defense and you look at Ryan Tannehill, and you tell me, which one would you rather have in a battle? I'd rather take the Bengals defense versus the Titans offense and the Ryan Tannehill throwing the ball. We got to be able to heat him up too. Put him in some bad spots. He is a veteran. He knows how to be in bad spots, but he doesn't know how to make those deep ball throws. He doesn't know exactly how to pinpoint them exactly, making the plays for the offense by himself. So you got to be able to expose Ryan Tannehill as the weakness of the offense here. Now, Tennessee's they're going to be tough. They are the first round bye for a reason. They are a first seed for a reason because they know how to win games. And like I said, you got to be able to get off the field on third down if you're the defense. Got to. It is going to be massive. If you look at the injury report, it looks like Trey Hendrickson is going to be back, which is going to be massive for the D line. Larry Ogunjobi being out is going to be huge. We're really going to feel his loss right in the middle of the defense. But that being said, well, I did hear that Rennell Wren and Josh Tupou are activated and they are practicing. So it seems like we're going to be seeing a lot of them on the interior, which is really, really good for the Bengals. So the depth is still there. Can't take any more injuries on the inside of that defensive line. And on the as great as our health has been, as a team, and it really has. It's kind of amazing. We can't really get much more hurt past this. This is pretty much it. The Bengals can't sustain a bunch of injuries during the game and be able to outlast the Titans. That's one thing about that. It's one thing about that bye that Tennessee is really going to be able to take advantage of. But I do know that the two starting tackles for Tennessee were not practicing today. So, you know, any kink in their armor and any kink in their offensive line is going to be massive for us. And then the ultimate key to this game is going to be one in the trenches because obviously both sides of the ball. Can this offensive line stop that front four or front five or front seven of Tennessee? Tennessee, it came out today that Tennessee blitzes the least amount of any team, but still sacks a quarterback the second most amount of anybody in the league. Meaning their defensive line is incredibly, incredibly scary. However, the Bengals offensive line last week played very well. They gave Joe Burrow time. I believe Burrow was only sacked twice, allowed him to make some plays, and the Raiders defensive line is no joke. Like that is a very good defensive line. The Bengals held their own. played very well, very sound, and it was good to see. So as encouraging as that was, this new front five, front four is going to be a much harder task. So if Paul can draw the scheme to basically slow them down, and a lot of that has to do with play development. So I mean, you can't have these development plays. We're just not that good on the offensive line yet. He's got to be quick hitters, quick in and outs. If Titans side goes, which is fine. I don't understand why they would. Joe Burrow's got to be able to pick them apart. He's got to be accurate. He's got to be Joe. That's pretty much it. He's got to be able to hit these seam routes, hit the inside of that zone, and get Tennessee to become uncomfortable on defense. You can't let them dictate the control of the game. The Bengals have got to dictate it from the get go. You do that, the Bengals are going to come out on top. And then final thought, honestly, if the Bengals play up to their potential, what they could, they will win this game. I think they're a better team than Tennessee. I think they're more well rounded. I think they have a better quarterback. I think that's it. I think going against Vrabel is going to be hard. Mike Vrabel's a very good coach, but I think Zach Taylor can draw up a scheme to let his guys go out there and play. So, and again, I think the talent in terms of talent wise, the Bengals are a better team than Tennessee, bar none. Throw Derrick Henry into there, and I get that, but you stop Derrick Henry. I mean, the offense is the Titans' offense is still legit, but it's nowhere near the Bengals' offense. And got to get going right from there. You let Joe cook, and you get those stops on defense, and the Bengals should be good. It looks like it's going to be a lot of Bengals fans, so much so that the Titans organization is trying to limit the amount of Bengals fans there because there's going to be a lot. It might even be kind of like a home game. It's going to be as like a stadium takeover, kind of like what UC did to Notre Dame, which was incredible. If you were there for that game where the Cincinnati went and played Notre Dame, and the entire city of Cincinnati basically went to go support them at Notre Dame, it was a great sight to see. And that's what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen in Nashville. I think it's going to be a complete stadium takeover. So I don't think the crowd's going to be that big of a problem. And then also, if you think about hostile environment, this team is 5-2 on the road. They've been in brighter lights. They understand the magnitude of the game, and they're good at it. They're good at managing it. And obviously, that starts at Joe Cool. Obviously, Joey B. He has that swagger, that moniker about him that allows him to go out there and play his best ball, even when things aren't going right, even when he's in a hostile environment. He can focus and lock in. And I think if he can lock in, the rest of the receivers lock in as well. This Bengals team is going to win the game. Got to be able to control the clock. So I would love to see Mixon get some more carries, but I mean, we're going to have to win this game through the air because that's what we do best is throwing the ball. So don't shy away from what we do best. Let's let our playmakers go out there and make plays. Let's let Jamar Chase get the ball in his hands early. Let's get him moving. Let's get T. Higgins down the sideline, down the field. Let's get Joe Burrow throwing these balls and start out small and then progressively work our way down the field. And got to be able to convert in the red zone. That's going to be the tail of the tape. The Bengals convert in the red zone. They play up to their potential. We're going to be either going to Buffalo or we're going to go to Kansas City, which is going to be electric. And then at that point, you get past the Titans here. It's a pick 'em at this point because we can go talk matchups all day long. This is the matchup we wanted. We wanted to play Vegas in the first round, and we wanted to go to Tennessee in the second round. I know home field advantage would have kind of been a long shot, but I'm happy that we are just here. This is the spot we wanted to be in. Then after that, if the AFC Championship game, you got to go through the top dog. So you're going to Buffalo or you're going to Kansas City, and you're riding an incredible emotional wave of momentum, beating the number one seed and going in. Uh, and plus, then on top of that, I mean, then home field advantage is going to matter a lot less because this team is going to be ready to play in any sort of hostile environment. And I just cannot wait. The absolute scene that was Paul Brown Stadium on Saturday was incredible. It was the best I've ever seen the stadium, packed out. people crying. It was just amazing. And hopefully we can recreate that. This team is not done yet. This team wants a Super Bowl. They would need to get there. And for Joe to say that, this is going to be the bare minimum for winning one playoff game. That's what we should be doing as fans. We got that monkey off of our back. We got that first playoff win. Now it's time to go out there and go get the next one. So again, like I said, I think this Bengals team can win. I'd like the Bengals to win this matchup. I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than what uh, critics or national media might tell you. The Bengals are looking at a 3.5 point dog. So I'm going to take the Bengals here, and I'm going to take them. I'm going to say it's going to be 31-28. It's going to be a really high scoring ball game. Both teams are going to score a lot of points, and at the end of the day, Bengals are going to come out on top. So I'm betting Bengals money line. You can take that one to the bank. All right, y'all. This has been the Back Row Bengals show. It's been so much fun talking to all of you. I got to go get ready. I have some stuff I got to do tonight. But this has been the Back Row Bengals show, all brought to you by fansided.com. Again, go over there. Go find my blogs at Back Row Bengals. Follow me on Twitter at Back Row Bengals. Follow my YouTube channel, also Back Row Bengals show. Thank you so much for listening. I am Josh Miller, and let's go get a win on Saturday. Let's go beat Tennessee, and let's go move on to the AFC Championship game. I'm excited, and you should be too. The city is buzzing. Hooray! Let's go, Bengals. See y'all.